Fine and sunny too for the majority of England and Wales. Again, some of this patchy sea fog just at times rippling onto the coast. And it will come back inland as we go through the night too. This mist and low cloud will again feature on tomorrow morning. But for most places, it stays dry. Stays clear. It's going to be a really warm night, especially in parts of northwest Wales and northwest Scotland. With the mountains playing a part, temperatures could hold up above 20 Celsius in some locations. Most of us dipping down to about 15 to 18 Celsius. So quite a warm, quite a humid night again. And it will be a hot day tomorrow too, but not as hot. Temperatures generally a couple of degrees lower. A bit more cloud in eastern areas. Even the chance of seeing a shower or two across parts of northeast England, southeast Scotland, but it is just a small chance. Most places staying dry. Still some of that mist and low cloud on some coasts, but generally another hot day. But things are going to change, turning cooler and a bit wetter early next week.
A positive outlook through the night will power through to a bright day ahead. Boxed Home Battery Storage, sponsors of weather on GB News.
Imagine having an extra £1,000 to spend each week for an entire year. £54,321 in tax-free cash could be yours. Cash to spend however you like. £54,321 in cash could be landing in your bank account this year. For another chance to win £54,321 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB14 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
Good afternoon, Britain. A cheerful lollipop man's signature high fives have been stopped in their tracks.
Oh dear. Well, Neil Cotton, believed by local children... sorry. I'll start that all over again. This is a chap called Neil Cotton, and he's beloved by local kids in Howden, East Yorkshire. And he's been told by the council to stop the friendly high-fiving gesture, all in the name of health and safety.
But many parents and motorists are calling it nonsense. No surprises there. So apparently this chap, 57 years old, he spent the last 2 years brightening up the school run in the East Yorkshire town of Howden. There he is, looks like a nice guy, doesn't he? He has a cheerful attitude. He has his signature high fives. The children love it, the parents love it, he loves it. But no, the council says, get on with your job and stop the high fives.
It's the one area of employment where the councillor's trying to chivvy people on and get them to work harder rather than less hard. But I mean, what have we done in this country where we've sort of abandoned our sense of whimsy? I think adding a sense of whimsy to all jobs, I think, is a fundamental productivity measure, actually. I think if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're going to be doing it better. People are going to go into school or away from school with a smile on their face. What a joyful thing in a town in Yorkshire. I mean, amazing, brilliant. And yet, no, of course, the clipboards have to come out and the dour library monitor style individuals. I bet they're all library monitors at school. They've just got to tell people that they can't have fun.
Yeah, so the children have to be shooed along. They can't be distracted by such frivolities as a high five.
GB News, the People's Channel.
It's 10 a.m. on Saturday, the 12th of July, live across the United Kingdom. This is Saturday Morning Live with me, Charlie Peters and Nana Akweer in London, and of course Dame Arlene Foster and Dougie Beattie in Coleraine, as we bring you coverage of the 12th of July parades.
Yes, but elsewhere as well today, the Prime Minister is reportedly considering about cabinet reshuffle to reset his government ahead of Parliament's summer recess. Will it be enough to get voters back on side with Sir Keir Starmer?
Well, those reports come as Angela Rayner is binned by Unite over recent bin strikes in Birmingham. The union has also announced it will review its relationship with the Labour Party overall. We'll be discussing the very latest on that.
And a report into the Air India crash that killed 260 people last month has found that switches to the engine's fuel supplies were turned off seconds after takeoff, leading to the disaster. We're taking a closer look throughout the show.
And tens of thousands of people will take to the streets of Durham today for the 139th Miners' Gala. It is the largest trades union rally of its kind in Europe. The event became a point of contention after Reform UK's council victory in May. Our reporter Jack Carson is there.
Well, here in Durham, it's absolutely packed, as you can probably see around me, with all of the marching bands and different parts of the Durham Miners Association. You see some of the banners as well. We've got marching bands, we've got people. Of course, this is very much a celebration of the history of mining in this town and working class life. But you're right, it's not without its contention, with Reform, after recently winning the council and the mayor elections, not being invited to speak at the event.
Oasis are home. The band played their first gig in Manchester for nearly, that was more like Liverpool, for nearly 16 years last night after kicking off their world tour last week.
Well, the biggest stories, the boldest opinions and the liveliest debates over the next 2 hours. I'm Charlie Peters.
And I'm Nana Akweer. Your weekend starts here.
Nana Akweer, and your weekend starts here.
Yeah, I know, it all rhymes, doesn't it? It's good.
Programme.
Of course, but I've not done this show before.
Well, it's glad to have you.
I quite like Saturday mornings because you can chill out. A lot of people recovering from the hangover the night before. That was in my younger days. I don't really drink very much now.
Well, no comment from me on how I'm feeling this morning, but we have an excellent lineup of stories to go. Great seeing Jack Carson up there in Durham for that Miners' Gala. It's always interesting, that event, for who speaks, but it is a little bit funny, isn't it, that that area of the country going towards reform, but no reform voices included.
Well, you know, that's it. There's more time, you know, lots of time up till that, all of that anyway. But also, I'm really excited to be in Northern Ireland.
Absolutely.
And find out what's going on there with Arlene Foster. We do cover this every single year, and it's just such an incredible event.
Yeah, it'll be very exciting to see what goes on there. But there are so many stories to get through today, and also so many of your views that we want to hear. So don't be shy, send your views, post your comments. You know the drill by now. It's gbnews.com/your say.
But before we do anything else, Sam Francis has all your news headlines.
Very good morning to you. The top story from the newsroom just after 10. Well, the engines on Air India Flight 171 were cut off moments before it crashed, a new report has found. Cockpit audio revealed that one pilot questioning why the other did the cut-off. The response was, "I didn't." Experts say it's almost impossible for both fuel switches to be pulled accidentally. The airline says it is fully cooperating as investigators analyse flight data and post-mortem reports. The sole survivor, a British national, escaped through a hole in the fuselage. Two reports have reignited fears over the UK economy this morning. One warning of a dip in growth last month, and the other projecting government debt could triple by 2075. The official forecaster says Britain faces daunting risks, with borrowing costs now the third highest among major economies. The OBR says the UK can't afford the promises made by politicians. It means a wave of tax rises is expected this autumn, alongside pressure to find savings in welfare and boost defence spending. But the Chancellor insists the gloom is overplayed, with markets strong and confidence returning. Angela Rayner has been suspended by Unite in a deepening row over Birmingham's bin strikes. The union accuses her of siding with the Labour-led council and rejecting demands from striking workers. Rayner says she quit the union, though, and won't be pushed around, dismissing the move as a silly stunt. Talks to end the strike have collapsed, with drivers facing job losses and pay cuts of up to £8,000. Unite is now threatening to rethink its ties with Labour and is risking a funding blow of more than £1 million. The BBC is facing a dilemma today over whether to air the next series of MasterChef, already filmed with Greg Wallace still in it. Wallace has apologised for using inappropriate language but denies serious claims of misconduct as 50 more people have come forward. An investigation by the show's producers is underway and the BBC says it won't comment until those findings are published. Further contestants say shelving the show would be devastating, but airing it could spark backlash. In the Middle East, ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas are reportedly on the brink of collapse, with negotiators in Doha accusing Israel of stalling to buy time during Netanyahu's visit to the United States. Palestinian officials say Israel sent a delegation with no authority to agree on key issues like troop withdrawal and aid access. The proposed deal would see Hamas release half of the 20 living hostages and some of the dead during a 60-day truce. Mediators are warning the process is now hanging by a thread and could collapse without urgent US intervention. And you may have noticed, yes, the UK's third heatwave of the year certainly is hitting its peak, and it is a scorcher. Temperatures could climb to 34 degrees today after Wales recorded its hottest day of the year so far, and the West Midlands yesterday pushed close to 35 degrees. Amber heat health alerts, though, remain in force across much of the country, and millions are facing hosepipe bans. And there are also wildfire warnings stretching as far as Scotland and Northern Ireland. Meanwhile, at Wimbledon, play has been interrupted and centre court hit 32 degrees, triggering heat rules for players and fans. So with rail delays, drought risks and health warnings piling up, relief is in sight, but not until Monday. Those are the latest headlines for now. I'll be back with you, I think, in half an hour's time. For now, though, let's head back to Charlie and Nana.
For the very latest GB News direct to your smartphone, sign up to News Alerts by scanning the QR code or go to gbnews.com/alerts.
Good morning. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not used to this. I've just woken up. Thank you, Sam Francis, and welcome back to Saturday Morning Live with Charlie Peters and me, Nana Acquare.
Such a programme coming along for us today, and I have to say, your say is quite excited to see you this morning. Yes, I think a few people might be a bit confused, thinking it's already the afternoon, thinking, what's Nana doing this early? But no, lots of joy to see you with us this morning.
Thank you. I will be back as well for the afternoon show, so don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
She's double shifting. I feel that joy as well. Very exciting stuff. And a lot of people getting in touch talking about this unions row, the doctors' strike as well.
Well, the doctors' strike, I had an interesting conversation with one of the co-chairs, who are one of the sort of major people who set this whole thing up. Very young guy. Can't remember his full name, but I think his first name was Ross. And he was arguing, because obviously they have used the retail price index rather than the consumer price index to show the differential in real times pay, which is obviously a way of making it look worse than it really is for them. Nobody uses the RPI for things like this, and it has. We've already had comments from other financial bodies who said that actually the reason they don't use the RPI is because it inflates things, so it makes things look worse than they really are, depending on what side you look at it.
Yes, well, we'll be diving into that issue coming up shortly. So much to get through today. But, of course, also, we will be covering the annual 12th of July celebrations from Northern Ireland to commemorate the Battle of the Boyne.
Now, it's now marked worldwide for its lasting impact on everyday life.
And our Northern Ireland reporter, Dougie Beattie, has outlined the history with the help of AI technology designed to bring the past to life, but not to alter it.
The UK is a place we all take for granted. We enjoy its religious freedoms and democratic institutions, but these were all fought for, especially in the late 15 and 1600s. In 1588, Elizabeth I smashed the Spanish Armada and put down a rebellion of the Irish Earls that bankrupted Ulster's economy. In 1603, James VI of Scotland unites the crowns and becomes James I. He plants the Presbyterians from Scotland into Ulster to refloat an Irish economy. Charles I reopens the religious question, and from the conflict that follows would see not only his death, but Britain become a republic under Oliver Cromwell. 1660, Charles II restores the monarchy but punishes nonconformists. In 1685, James II is a tyrannical monarch. He's a strong ally of Louis of France. He raises an Irish army to challenge revolution, but his 3-year reign would come to an end by his daughter Mary and her husband William. They become the first constitutional and only joint monarchy. They introduce the Bill of Rights, the Bank of England, and hand more powers to Parliament.
The Glorious Revolution really is the most pivotal moment in our history within the British Isles. It creates a new constitutional settlement, and it has many layers to it as part of a wider European conflict to the balance of power of Europe. It's part of a civil war, essentially, for the throne here in the British Isles, and it's also hides a number of family disputes.
The 12th of July is still celebrated across the world because many countries adopted the Bill of Rights from 1688. And after the revolution, many more left the UK and headed for America.
Well, we will be going live to Coleraine later in the show, but joining us now to look through the top stories of today, we're delighted to be joined by former Labour advisor Scarlett Maguire, also journalist and writer Candice Holsworth. Thank you for coming in.
Morning, both. How are you guys doing? You well?
Great. Absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
Do you have any thoughts on the event today in Northern Ireland?
I think we have to understand that it is a sectarian celebration, and while the Protestants, the majority in Northern Ireland, are very, very happy with it, actually it has been used. The celebrations, it used to be the marching season, and there were always, there was terrible violence. Now, a lot of the violence in Northern Ireland, because of the peace deal, thank goodness, has gone. But it's still a sectarian. It's remembering, a battle many years ago. I'd like to say that my great whatever grandfather, who was head of the Maguire clan, was hung, drawn, and quartered by Cromwell's people, and my dad always remembered it.
Scarlett, we're seeing, obviously, the bonfires being lit as well. That commemorates the lighting of beacons to guide King Billy's ships into Northern Ireland through the waterways and the loch in Belfast as well. Does that give you cause for concern, especially what you see is on these effigies? You saw this migrant boat on top of one of these bonfires.
What I'm saying is that we have to understand that while it's a celebration, and it's really, really important that it goes on, right? I'm not trying to ban it, is that it is sectarian, and that many people in Northern Ireland have found July the 12th very frightening.
And Candice, do you think people understand that on the mainland of the United Kingdom, in Great Britain? Do you think people recognise the delicate nature of the 12th and the sectarianism there?
I don't. I think that this history, to a lot of people, we just don't know it. I was talking to a friend of mine from Northern Ireland the other day, and she was sort of explaining all these nuances to me. She comes from a Protestant background, but she also has Catholic relatives. And a lot of the questions that I was asking her, I was like, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as Irish or British? And, I realised I know so little about it, and so many of us here on the mainland know very little about it. And I think it's important to learn more about it.
Well, Eamon looked at me and said, I'm wearing the wrong sort of green. So I think, just for anybody out there, before I get stick for it, apologies for wearing the wrong kind of green. It's my favourite colour, green, any shade, but if this is the wrong one, apologies.
Oh, it suits
I know what you mean.
Don't worry.
But actually, what's important, we talk about Northern Ireland. If you're talking about terrorism, and we're all frightened about terrorism at the moment, during the 70s and 80s, 200 people a year were killed by terrorists, right? Mostly, clearly, Irish terrorists. And now, in the first 25 years of this century, we haven't got up to 200. But because it happened in Northern Ireland, it didn't matter.
So
we have to remember
people
that.
a year killed by terrorism in the world, or just in this country? Or?
In this country. In this country, 200 people a year were killed. Remember, Eamon will have told you about. If you lived in Belfast, you woke up on a Saturday morning and there was normally a bomb somewhere.
Yeah, no, I remember that because I was around that time. I can remember when there was all the IRA and the real IRA. Then you had Jerry Adams, and there was a voice over his voice because he wasn't allowed to speak because It was all very, very odd.
But people pretend this has all gone away, right? MI5 is still spending a quarter of its budget in maintaining the peace in Northern Ireland.
Precisely.
This is still a cause of great concern and great tension as well, Candice.
It is, and even in my own family living in Manchester, there were Protestant-Catholic divides. I mean, my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother, one was Catholic, one was Protestant. The family were not happy that they'd married. We forget about these things.
Well, let's move on, because we're going to be covering that throughout the day. The next hour of the show will be we're going to be live for the full hour in Northern Ireland. But I wanted to talk about the doctors' strike, because medical leaders have actually warned junior doctors, or what do they now call? They don't call they're resident doctors. That's how they like to be referred to. That they may never recover the trust of the public because of it. Because of course they're going on strike. They've given 2 weeks' notice, which is awful. The last time they had a 5-day strike, 200,000 appointments were cancelled or rescheduled, and of course they are using the retail price index to calculate the real life changes in their earnings rather than using the consumer price index. And then let's not forget their ridiculously generous pensions, where the state contributes about 27.5% of their pension. That's the top-up in comparison to a commercial company, which will top up your pension by about 3%.
Yes, yeah, you've laid it out. I mean, you've really, described all the details and everything that everyone is concerned about. I mean, a lot of doctors that I speak to, senior doctors, are starting to worry that the BMA is becoming increasingly radicalised. It doesn't represent the majority of what doctors think. And we know from polling that the public is really starting to turn against these strikes because they don't see doctors as poorly remunerated. Even if it isn't your salary, people think you get a very generous pension.
They do.
And they can't really see what they're arguing for.
Scarlett, 77,000. There are about 77,000 resident or junior doctors. Out of that, about 55% of them voted, and out of that, only half of them voted for strike action, which means overall, only a third of them voted to strike. What are your thoughts on this? Because it's not the majority of resident doctors that want
look,
this.
I think it's a terrible shame. I mean, I really, really do. That they've been offered a 5%. Which they might say is peanuts, but actually it's more than most people are getting.
Plus the 22% beforehand as well.
And they got a massive increase last year, right? And to say, oh, but, we're not earning the same as we used to, well, neither is anybody else,
exactly.
Right? I mean, I speak as somebody, most people in the public sector, and probably an awful lot in the private, are not earning what they earned 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. And I just think it's a shame. I think, what are they doing? And it's absolutely right. They will lose the public's.
Scott, this is an issue for Wes Streeting, isn't it? Obviously, he's the health secretary, it goes without saying, but he put himself forward as sort of the solution to the doctors' strikes. I'm going to get them on board. We're going to engage and nip this in the bud straight away. They made some big pronouncements quite early on after the election last year. This has been a bit of a wake-up call for Labour and Streeting in particular, isn't it? Because it has made them realise that actually if you give an inch to these demands, they will very much take a mile.
Well, I think they should have got I mean, I think the 22% last year was absolutely right. And I think people who say there should have been a productivity deal, and you go...
Well, I think they should do that.
But what Wes is saying at the moment is sure, we'll give you more money, but then we're going to pay you less than your pension. Just what you said.
And add a level of performance-related pay into there as well, so that you're not just going to have a pay review body that says, oh, your salary is going to go up irrespective of your performance, and that might sort of make them have a think about it, because that's the real world.
And, I mean, I do think they will see sense. I think he'll go in... I mean, he's a very persuasive man. I think he'll go in, and actually what they'll understand is they'll start doing the polling, and they'll understand that the people in Britain are not happy about what the resident doctors are doing.
A lot of them are very young, though, so it's a lot of the younger ones. So I can't remember his last name, but Ross is his first name. He's one of the co-chairs. And he, of the BMA, and he was saying, that this is important, this needs to happen, we're not getting enough money, da-da-da-da. But in real terms, I think it's because, obviously, you become a doctor, you don't experience much else in terms of life or employment. And if you're complaining when you're at that level, it's because you haven't seen anything else. I think a lot of them don't understand.
Yes, there's a real generational divide, and I think a lot of older doctors talk about this, and they say that, the younger doctors just also don't seem to have the same duty towards the patients. I mean, the older doctors always felt they needed to be there, they needed to have that relationship, they needed to have this trust, and now that's being broken. And the doctors increasingly think, the junior doctors, that they can just abandon the patients and it will be OK, but it won't be OK because people don't see doctors in the same way anymore.
Candice, is this a sense of entitlement from these junior doctors? The Telegraph reporting today that some junior doctors on a pay packet of over £100,000 a year were part of those striking. Is this sense of entitlement? And here's another thing I'm particularly concerned about. Have we reached a point now with the NHS and the wild amounts of praise it gets that these junior doctors might feel as though they are politically untouchable? Is that a sense of concern you have as well?
I think so, and I think that also they've ginned up, from what I've been told, ginned up a lot of fear about doctors leaving to Australia and various places unless they get a higher pay package. But they're not going to do that because everywhere you work in the world, it's the same. There is no panacea. You're going to work really hard. You're going to work really long hours. You're going to see horrific things, but you will get paid generously, and they do get paid generously.
Well, the guy I was trying to say, the reason I can't say his name is Ross Newart. I think that's how you say it. It's spelled in a very odd way. But he's the co-chair of the UK Residents Doctors Committee, and he's one of the young doctors that I actually spoke to a couple of days ago who was, pushing for all this salary increase. And I did put it to him and did ask him whether he was aware of the difference in percentage of the top-up from the state and also from the private sector when it came to employment, and he hadn't got a clue. He hadn't got a clue. So he had no idea, and I think that's what we're dealing with. Young doctors who do not have the same compassion that the older doctors had, and they keep making comparisons to other countries, but those other countries don't really have a fully functioning national health, free at the point of use service.
They don't have our system, and as I say, talking about the generational divide, senior doctors being quoted in the papers today, taking an aim at their junior colleagues, putting this forward. All right, Scarlett and Candice will be joining you later, but before we go back to Northern Ireland, there is still plenty of time to grab your chance to win our biggest cash prize so far. It's an incredible £54,321, and here are all the details you need for a chance to make it all yours.
This is your chance to enjoy luxury this summer. It's our biggest cash prize to date, an incredible £54,321 in tax-free cash has to be won. What would you do with that? With all of that cash, you could just chill out, treat yourself and indulge in the finer things in life, somewhere like here, Downhall Hotel and Spa. You really could win the cash giveaway of the summer. Go on, treat yourself.
For another chance to win £54,321 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB14 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Well, still to come today. We'll go live to Coleraine with Dame Arlene Foster and Vicky Beattie for the 12th of July parades.
This is Saturday Morning Live, only on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Dubes & Co. Weekdays from 6 p.m.
You have to tackle gross levels of inequality. Now, this is not about being... it's not about fairness or the politics of envy. It's about saying we need more money in average people's pockets so they can go out and spend. What's happening is a lot of people are spending all their money on rents and mortgages.
So you want to take money off rich people and give it to poorer people?
Yeah, but obviously, when I say rich, who do you imagine?
No, well, I don't know, because I'm not proposing it. You tell me.
So for me, I'm not talking about those who've done quite well.
those who've grown their businesses. I'm talking about the billionaire class and the corporations. And I don't want to look at increasing income taxes necessarily. It should be about a wealth tax, because if we don't do anything about it, it's going to get worse. Now, what's interesting what you said about benefits, I know there's this pervasive idea. I just want to make that point quickly.
Let him finish his point. She's about to spontaneously combust, but hang on. Go on, finish your point.
There is this pervasive idea that, well, we need to cut benefits to force people into work. And you can understand the logic there. It makes sense, right? What's interesting is in Denmark, they have a higher labour rate of participation, which a fancy phrase of more working age people are in work than the UK. In 2022, it was like 80%, 2024, 75%. Look at the UK, only 53% of people in work, yet Denmark have a far higher or far generous welfare state.
Well, we've had a lot of cheap labour that has come in, which that's taken the levels of earnings down at times, and that's left...
I disagree with that.
Left, well, just let me finish. And that's left a lot of people who already live here, basically lounging on the sofa and thinking, well, my benefits are great, why should I get out of bed? Why should I get out of bed for another 20 quid a week? And we've got to get rid of that mentality, because it's the same
You're
people
using
who seem to
anecdotes
be...
here. You're not looking at the facts.
People
I've told you the
who seem to be contributing to this economy year in and year out, and a lot of them are actually older.
GB News, the People's Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
It's 10:26 and you're watching Saturday Morning Live with me, Charlie Peters and Nana Acqueer. Now we're going to go over to Northern Ireland because Dame Arlene Foster and Dougie Beattie, they're in Coleraine for us today for the 12th of July parades. But let's go over to Arlene first now. Good morning, Arlene. How's the atmosphere shaping up?
Good morning, and here I am in my orange just to balance out Nana's green today. It's important that I do that, I feel. Good morning and welcome to this very special live broadcast on the 12th of July from Coleraine on the beautiful north coast of Northern Ireland. And what a wonderful day it is. Look at the weather, it's incredible. Not often we get this sort of weather for the 12th of July in Northern Ireland, but we're delighted to have it today. We're privileged, of course, to have a special guest with us today, the Chief Executive of the Ulster Scots Agency in Belfast, Ian Crozier, who's going to help us explore the deeper significance of the Battle of the Boyne and the incredible chain of events which it sparked. We'll also be catching up throughout the morning with our Northern Ireland correspondent Dougie Beattie and of course our regular 12th of July colleague Charlie Lawson, who are out and about getting a flavour of the day. Because today is not just about marking tradition, we're telling a bigger story, a story that leads directly into the year ahead, 2026, which marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the American Declaration of Independence. And we want to help share a story that's still not widely told. That's the legacy and the values of the Ulster Scots ancestors and the fact that it reached far beyond these shores, and they took their belief, their bravery and their determination across the Atlantic in the years following the Glorious Revolution and of course the Battle of the Boyne. And so across the next hour we're going to take a look at Foundations of Freedom just before the parade comes to us. The first in a two-part documentary series, Architects of America, which explores how the Ulster Scots helped to build the very foundations of the United States. It airs at midnight tonight. You might want to set your recorder for that or watch it live, of course, if you want to stay up with that coffee. So be sure to stay up or hit record. It's also going to be available to stream on GB News online for all of our members. But first, let's take a look at why the 12th of July still matters. And Ian, you're with us today. We're very privileged to have you here today.
Thanks, Arlene.
Chief Executive of the Ulster Scots Agency in Northern Ireland. Can you tell us, sometimes and we've heard it this morning already, the 12th of July is misunderstood. Tell us why it's still so important.
Well, I think sometimes it's misunderstood, sometimes it's misrepresented as well.
True.
The reality of it is that the celebration here is a celebration about civil and religious liberty. That's what was brought about by the landing, by the victory of William III. People sometimes, I think, get very excited about the religion of the two main protagonists.
Yes.
That it was a Catholic king and a Protestant king.
Yeah.
Actually, William III came to the shores of the United Kingdom with the support of practically every Catholic head of state
and the Pope as well.
in Europe, and the Pope as well. Because what had actually happened was that James II had become a tyrant king, had effectively turned the United Kingdom into a rogue state, and William came at the head of a force that was sanctioned by the international community to come and to change things in the United Kingdom to restore civil and religious liberty to the people here.
And I think it's very important, Ian, that we do understand that. And of course, because if you just take a snapshot from a bonfire or a parade, it can be very much misrepresented what everybody's actually enjoying and celebrating today.
Yeah, very, very much so. And look, it's a challenge for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a challenge for the people who are watching all of these events, but it's also a challenge for those of us who take part in them to understand what the history actually is and to understand what the values are behind the thing that we're celebrating.
Yeah, and that's very important, and it's wonderful to see the crowds gathering here in Coleraine. And of course, GB News viewers will want to know what Dougie Beattie's up to, and I hope that we're going to have a chance to speak to him. There he is with Charlie. Hi boys, what are you up to?
Well, it's the 12th of July. Charlie, it's our fourth one here.
Fourth year, Dougie, and it's joyous this time because look at the sun. We're in Coleraine. I haven't been here for about 40 years, but first of all, welcome to everybody from GB News who's watching, and indeed everybody in Northern Ireland. Lovely to see you, and indeed Scotland. I've met more Scottish people this year than ever.
Yeah, even in the hotel last night.
And the hotel was ran full of Scottish. So welcome and enjoy. Have a cracking day. Put your Factor 50 on.
Factor 50. You've seen the state of my legs in Margate a couple of weeks ago. People will know I need far higher than that. But yes, we'll be getting all the features from the day. The bands are just starting to come in to the assembly area behind us.
And I'll be dandering about interviewing people in the crowd as usual. And Dougie will be just working harder than anybody else as usual.
And with that, it's back to you, Charlie, and Nana in the studio.
Thank you very much. That's Dougie Beattie there with Charlie Lawson. Remember him from Coronation Street. And also, thank you to Dame Arlene Foster and of course, her guest there. Still to come, we will go live to Durham, where it is the Miners' Gala today. Jack Carson is on the ground there.
But before we go there, let's head to Sam Francis, who's got all of your latest news headlines.
Very good morning to you. The top story just after 10:30. New details have emerged on the crash of Air India Flight 171. Cockpit audio reveals confusion as the engines were cut off moments before the crash. 260 people lost their lives. The sole survivor, a British national, escaped through a hole in the fuselage. Here, fears for the economy are rising as reports warn of stagnant growth and a potential tripling of government debt by 2075. Tax hikes and spending cuts are on the horizon, though some say the outlook is too bleak. Angela Rayner suspended by Unite over the Birmingham bin strikes row. The union has accused her of siding with Labour, while Rayner calls it a silly stunt. Talks have broken down and Unite threatens to reconsider ties with the entire Labour Party. In the Middle East, ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas are on the brink of collapse, with negotiators accusing Israel of stalling. Palestinian officials say Israel sent a delegation with no authority. Mediators are warning it could collapse without urgent American intervention. And the UK's third heat wave is peaking today, with temperatures hitting 34 degrees in parts of the country. Wildfire warnings are also in place for Scotland and Northern Ireland, with heat disrupting Wimbledon and rail services. Those are the headlines for now. More news at the top of the hour.
For the very latest GB News direct to your smartphone, sign up to News Alerts by scanning the QR code or go to gbnews.com/alerts.
Morning. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. A sizzling, sunny summer Saturday for the vast majority. If you're waking up in eastern areas, then, well, it might just be a little grey outside. Mist and low cloud has been filtering in through the night. It's quite patchy in nature and it is going to burn back to the coasts. Some beaches may stay a little misty, but for most places, it's going to be dry, it's going to be sunny, and it is going to be hot. Temperatures widely over 30 degrees Celsius across the heart of England and Wales. A little cooler in eastern areas, particularly if some of that mist and low cloud sticks, but we could easily again get to 30 Celsius across parts of western Scotland, so west of Northern Ireland in the high 20s too. It's going to be a warm night, a balmy summer's evening. This ha, though, is likely to thicken up at times and will affect some coast across eastern Scotland, particularly around coasts of the Northern Isles. For most of mainland Scotland, much of Northern Ireland, a dry and a sunny end to the day. Fine and sunny too for the majority of England and Wales. Again, some of this patchy sea fog just at times rippling onto the coast. And it will come back inland as we go through the night too. This mist and low cloud will again feature on tomorrow morning. But for most places, it stays dry, stays clear. It's going to be a really warm night, especially in parts of northwest Wales and northwest Scotland. With the mountains playing a part, temperatures could hold up above 20 Celsius in some locations. Most of us dipping down to about 15 to 18 Celsius, so quite a warm, quite a humid night again. And it will be a hot day tomorrow too, but not as hot. Temperatures generally a couple of degrees lower. A bit more cloud in eastern areas. Even the chance of seeing a shower or two across parts of northeast England, southeast Scotland, but it is just a small chance. Most places staying dry. Still some of that mist and low cloud on some coasts, but generally another hot day. But things are going to change, turning cooler and a bit wetter early next week.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun. No, he didn't say that, Dave. I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Well, it is Nana Akweer here. Welcome back. You're watching and listening to Saturday Morning Live with me, Nana Akweer, and the fabulous award-winning Charlie Peters.
Well, yes, great to be with you this morning. And let's see what you've been saying on gbnews.com/yoursay. Some lovely comments from our viewers and listeners with regards to these 12th of July celebrations. Alana Lewis says, morning, guys, from a beautiful, very sunny Bangor, Northern Ireland, where there's going to be a lot of sunburnt orangement today. You heard Doogie Beattie there talking about his factor 50. I think that's going to be in order for plenty, Nana.
Now, we were talking about the doctors and the strikes, and Jackie Briggs says, I remember when I was young in London, I had home visits from our lovely dedicated doctor who did home visits after their surgery was finished. I was offered a choice of orange or cherry-flavoured penicillin, and he would recommend Lucozade, as I was unable to eat. Lucozade came in a beautiful bottle covered in crinkly orange cellophane. Anyone else ever remember this blissful age? Well, we've got Scarlett Maguire. She's too young to remember that, but you might do. And Candice, you won't remember it. You're too young.
No, of course I remember the Lucozade. I'm not sure I think my mother never bought it because it was too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly I never drank it. It was not what was given to us when we were ill.
But do you remember the whole sort of ethos, the mentality, the mindset of doctors and nurses? It seems so much more compassionate and dedicated.
Yeah, of course I remember home visits, but actually, I think it was only yesterday or the day before. I mean, a doctor rang me at about 6 o'clock in the evening saying, I've just been looking at your notes, I'm a bit worried about that. Yeah, I was really amazed. And this was the second or third time she's called me about things. And actually, you know, I do not go on about how wonderful my GP practice is, to put it mildly. But I mean, to have to ring up and say, you know, look, you know, what are we doing about these pills that you've been thinking? So I think it's... I think it all got too much for them. But actually, individually, and I deal with a lot of doctors, individually, I think they're still brilliant.
Oh, I think, yeah, I do admit that they are brilliant, although my GP surgery, I won't say, because they have been horrendous. In fact, ended up with a text spat instead of actually organising an appointment, which I just thought to myself, you've got enough time to have a spat with me on the text because you don't like what I'm saying.
You like a little fight, though.
Well, no, I do. But the thing is...
A little row with the doctor.
I said, I don't want to waste your time. I said, just you know, this is what I've been told that I need to get. Can you just order it for me? I've sent you the pictures of what the thing is. You can see that it's that. Just send me the prescription for it. I don't want to waste someone's time. I also don't want to waste yours or to be sitting in front of one of your doctors as they look on Google, because that's what happens when I go.
You have to advocate for yourself. I mean, I learned this. I've had 3 children and I've been through the maternity care system.
3 children, you?
Yes,
My God, it doesn't look like this. 3 children.
But by the second child, I realised when I go in there, I have to insist on what I want and I have to push for things, and it's just the way it is. Look, I've had good experiences too. Last year, I was in hospital for a week. I had meningitis. It was awful.
Oh, wow.
But I would say that the consultants and the nurses, I mean, there was like a real pocket of excellence. I mean, those do exist, and I think that if everyone could set a culture like they did, our experience of the NHS would be so different.
I have to say, I'm a bit nervous when I see all these strikes about how the NHS and our health system and government more broadly will adapt to the upcoming technological advancements, the control of these unions. Can you imagine the United Kingdom taking the step forward with AI and having computers reduce the number of people we need working in the back rooms, but also perhaps also frontline medical staff? I think we're at risk of being left behind.
You could have robots doing some surgeries.
No, but I am about to have a knee operation, and because it's at University College Hospital, which is absolutely brilliant, it's going to be robots.
I think that's great.
I mean, it is.
The robots are going to do the whole
already
thing.
Coming in.
Well, there we go.
Are they going to do the whole thing?
There will be people as well.
Like a robot lifting you onto the thing, a robot going...
But robots are better.
OK.
Well, it depends if somebody's programmed them to say, well, if this woman does that...
Yeah.
All right, Scarlett, Candice, thank you very much. Now let's go over to the northeast, where tens of thousands of people are taking to the streets of Durham for the 139th Miners' Gala.
Now, this is commonly known as the Big Meeting. It is the largest trade union rally of its kind in Europe. It features a parade of banners from former colliery communities across the country.
Well, earlier this year, though, the gala became a point of contention following Reform's sweeping win in May's local council elections. Organisers at the gala said the party would not be formally invited to sit on the platform, although no one would be banned from attending the wider event.
You had to look, that was a long bit for you. You're just getting greedy now.
I know, I'm getting carried away.
Listen, young one, you will learn from the elders. Although he is award-winning, by the way. Our reporter Jack Carson is on the ground in Durham. Jack, what's happening?
Well, as you can see around us, you're right about the size of the crowd, and this being a big meet, you know, tens of thousands of people gathering here, and we've got loads of different brass bands, all of them deciding they want to play at once as well. So it's just a wave of noise here. You can see some of the banners here. We're talking about a lot from the Durham Miners Association, but it shows you that there's a lot of trade union movements that come from all over the country. There's the Kellingley Colliery banner there from the Yorkshire area. As we swing round here, there's also lots of different trade union movements. We've got members of the National Education Union there. We've got a Pride and a Palestinian flag together there. Make of that what you will. But let's join Councillor Joe Quinn. He's one of the local councillors here, one of the newly elected in May Reform councillors. Councillor, thank you so much for joining us. What for you is today all about?
So what today should be about is our mining heritage. County Durham is rich in mining heritage. My granddad was a miner. Ferry Hill was one of the biggest mines in the country at one point. So for me, it should be about our heritage. What it is today, I don't think reflects that anymore. I definitely think it's gone much more political and much more unionist.
And is that because for a lot of people here, they'd say that's a good thing, that they're representing, solidarity with trade movements across the country. They're representing international solidarity. why for you is that necessarily taking away from what this originally was?
To put it simply, it should just be about mining. Why does everything have to go to such a level where it's international politics? Why can't we just have it about mining? There's nothing wrong with just celebrating mining heritage. It just seems every tiny thing now has to be put on a huge stage where everything's global politics, and I just don't think there's anything wrong with celebrating mining heritage and just leave it at that.
And onto the point about the platform and the stage, and we're going to hear speeches from 1 o'clock this afternoon. Jeremy Corbyn, one of the speakers, as well as the Palestinian ambassador. What do you make of that, given that Reform weren't invited to be part of that platform?
Well, I think it's not that if they didn't say anything and just left, it was the fact that they made a statement which I think annoyed quite a lot of people. So they originally said, you're not welcome. Then they did a little bit of a U-turn and said, it's not that you're not welcome, it's more that we don't want you to speak on stage. But they want somebody from Palestine to come over and speak. I don't know why. They've got Jeremy Corbyn, which has been a couple of times now, and I actually believe today Jeremy Corbyn will make a big announcement about his new party, potentially even name it, because I don't think there is a bigger platform for him than the Durham Miners Gala to do that, which then links into the other question. It's just a platform for politics when it should just be about mining heritage.
You brought up some of the things that the Durham Miners Association has said in their statement. One of the things they said was that Reform UK is a party of the wealthy and for the wealthy. What's your reaction to what the Durham Miners Association say about Reform there?
I don't think they know a single member of Reform on a personal level, because within County Hall we have 65 councillors. We come from a whole range of backgrounds. A lot of us have given up, like myself, private sector work to come into the public sector for not a lot of money. So to say that we're of the wealthy is grossly mistaken. I can show you my bank account now. I am certainly not a wealthy man in terms of monetary value.
Right, Councillor Joe Quinn, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us that perspective of Reform, who have not been invited onto the platform today. Tens of thousands of people still here today, but of course, apart from celebrating that minage heritage that this place has, plenty of controversy today here at the event.
All right, Jack Carlson, thank you very much. Stay with us though, it's just gone 46 minutes after 10 o'clock. Good morning to you. Still to come, we will go live to Northern Ireland as the build-up to the 12th of July parades continues.
But first, if you are in search of some holiday sun, well, Durham looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd probably stay there, but, you know.
Well, if you do want to go further afield, here is the forecast for some of the top European holiday destinations.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
It's hot and sunny for the Greek islands at the moment, and plenty of hot sunshine in southern parts of Spain and Portugal too. But for northern Spain and northern Portugal, a bit more cloud coming in off the Atlantic and some outbreaks of rain possible here. Small chance of a shower in Catalonia as well, but some heavy showers likely over Italy, particularly affecting Rome. There's that sunshine in Greece, which will continue into next week, and the showers in Rome should clear away and temperatures will be rising here into next week too.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Saturday Morning Live here on GB News with me, Charlie Peters, and the wonderful Nana Akweer.
Right, let's go to Coleraine now as the build-up to the 12th of July parades continue. Dame Arlene, what's going on these days?
Well, welcome back, Nana, and welcome back, everybody. If you've just joined us, welcome to Coleraine, where we're having the glorious 12th of July here in Northern Ireland today. We're bringing you the stories behind the celebration, and we've just seen some footage there from the Durham miners and the fact that they have a lot of banners. Well, we have a lot of banners here today as well, and we'll be showcasing all of those. But before that, we're going to look ahead to the 250th anniversary of the American Independence, Declaration of Independence. We've been exploring the legacy of the Ulster Scots people, those men and women who left these very shores on the north coast after the glorious revolution and carried with them a powerful sense of purpose. Tonight at midnight we'll air the first part of our new two-part series, Architects of America, Foundations of Freedom. But for now, let's have another conversation with the Chief Executive of the Ulster Scots Agency, who joins me. Ian, delighted you're here in Coleraine today. Of course, ordinarily you'd be in Belfast today, wouldn't you?
I would indeed, yes.
Yes.
I've forgone the opportunity to walk with my own lodge to come and join you.
Just for GB News, of course.
Yes, absolutely. Wouldn't do it for anybody else.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it for anybody else. And your home lodge is where? It's in North Belfast?
It's in North Belfast, yes. It's the Memorial LOL 1197.
And one of the things you were mentioning to me is the fact that there's so many young people entering the institution now, and in fact there's two new lodges in your hall.
Absolutely, yes. We have a new boys junior lodge and a new girls junior lodge. Both of them set up within the last 6 weeks, and both of them in the kind of 15 to 20 member range, which is brilliant. We haven't had junior lodges for years, so it's a real shot in the arm.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing some of those junior lodges on parade here in Coleraine later on today. But now we're going to go and see what Dougie and Charlie are up to. Goodness knows what they're up to, but it's always good to catch up with them. Dougie, are you there? Dougie.
I am, Arlene, I am. Look at this. We're over in the band assembly area. And look at this. There is thousands of people out in the streets, and Charlie's trying to get interviews with people. Charlie, what are you doing?
I'm just going to talk to these two young ladies over here. If Lucia, our lovely camera person, will follow me here, darling. Well, girls, how are you?
Good.
Is this Mum?
Yes.
Right. So.
No.
Well, you ought to know, you know what I mean? So listen, have you brought these two young ladies here, or do you always come every year?
We would come most years, yeah.
And anybody in the parade you know?
A few people, yeah.
Brilliant, that's good. We were in Carrick last year and everybody was standing, but you've been very sensible and brought your chairs with you.
I'm doing that, Heath.
Yeah, well listen, enjoy your day, okay?
Thank you, sir.
You all look fabulous.
Thank you.
And, over and out.
Thank you.
Yes, the bands are just getting ready. If you can come on this side of us, you can see this colour party, all in T-shirts today, no big blazers for them. This is one of the bands getting ready to go. Look at this, she's looking her best, God bless her. Did you wash your face this morning?
Oh, it doesn't look like it now with all that sweat already. I haven't even started.
Oh,
it's awful.
Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Ballymoney. The band's from Corrine.
And you're leading the parade off?
We're leading, so UPB Corrine.
Very good, well done. And you can just come round this way a little bit here, and you can see here the orange banners in place behind us. That's it. We're getting ready to go. Whistles are going. The parade is starting to form up. It will be on the way in a few
We're
moments.
on our way, folks, and I'll see you dandering around.
All right. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Listen, stay with us. Coming up, we will be going live to Coleraine as the 12th of July parades get underway. We'll also be joining the team in Northern Ireland next.
Yeah, so much coming up for the next hour over the water in Northern Ireland. But we've been talking about plenty in this hour, haven't we, Nana, about all the top stories. I think this discussion about the doctors' strike is going to rumble on into next week. And I think we had our great panel, Candice and Scarlett, talking about that earlier. Scarlett having a knee operation done by robots.
I know, that's quite something.
It's quite an extraordinary thing.
I wish they'd done my knee operation, because I had a knee operation many, many years ago. I ruptured my ACL, anterior cruciate ligament, which is just a nightmare one to rupture on my left leg. And I don't think the guy did it as well as he thought he had. Because even today, I still have issues with that knee.
Well, robots, hopefully, will step in to facilitate freedom for other knees around the country. Going on gbnews.com/your say, which you should be doing if you're not already, Janie Blott says, I love the Northern Irish accent. I think referring to what we've just been hearing from Doogie and Charlie Lawson, I'm not going to read out what she's said because it's very difficult to sort of try and decipher. I also don't want to try and copy the Ulster accent. Doogie would never forgive me.
No, you can't do that.
That would be a real horrific experience for all involved. But there you go.
Quite a few as well, making your comments as well. June says, that is what is happening in our country. Hang on, we're talking about something else. This is where you end up. That was a black hole, right?
Yeah,
stop
not going to read that one.
It's a hand grenade, my friend. Listen, stay with us. Loads more still to come. This is Saturday Morning Live only on GB News.
See you in a bit.
£54,321 cash could be yours. Cash that you could spend however you like. It's like having an extra £1,000 each week for a whole year to play with. Someone is guaranteed to win this amazing amount of cash. So make sure that someone could be you. For another chance to win £54,321 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB14 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Beth.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie's here.
I'm Michelle Duke, Britain's News Channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country. There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor. Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It's 11 a.m. on Saturday, the 12th of July. Live across the United Kingdom, this is Saturday Morning Live with me, Charlie Peters and Nana Akweer in London and Dame Arlene Foster and Doogie Beattie in Coleraine.
Join us here in Coleraine, where the 12th of July parade has just started, and we're looking forward to sharing it with you across the United Kingdom.
We are here with the start of the parade. We're here with the start of the parade. You can see the colour party just coming behind us. Coleraine 12th is now underway, and we'll be here to grab all the action.
Yes, we will. And lovely Luthea, she will be following us round everywhere dandering about, and we'll bring you some nice interviews.
Elsewhere today, the Prime Minister is reportedly considering a cabinet reshuffle to reset his government ahead of Parliament's summer recess. Will it be enough to get voters back on side with Sir Keir Starmer?
Well, those reports come as Angela Rayner is binned by Unite the Union over recent strikes in Birmingham. The union has also announced it will review its relationship with the Labour Party overall. We'll be discussing the latest on that.
A report into the Air India crash that killed 260 people last month has found that switches to the engine's fuel supply were turned off seconds after takeoff, leading to disaster. We're taking a closer look throughout the show.
And tens of thousands of people will take to the streets of Durham today for the 139th Miners' Gala. It is the largest trades union rally of its kind in Europe, and the event became a point of contention after Reform UK's council victory in May.
Oasis are home. The band played their first gig in Manchester for nearly 16 years last night after kicking off their world tour last week. And of course, our special coverage of the 12th of July parade is next. I'm Nana Akweer.
And I'm Charlie Peters, and your weekend starts here.
So a lot happening today. It's a lovely day. It's going to be glorious sunshine outside, but don't go outside, don't stay in the sun for too long. Sit indoors, it's much cooler, and watch us.
Yes, it's safer to be with GB News. It's safer to be with Saturday Morning Live. If you do head out into the sun, make sure you take us with you. We're in the car, we're on your radio. And we're also going to be in Northern Ireland, of course, and we're getting a bit jealous, aren't we, Nana, at the sunshine that they're enjoying at the same time, because it seems as though a few people over there are enjoying a few drinks already, you might say.
Of course, yes, don't blame them. Why wouldn't you? Well, listen, loads still to come on the programme. Send us your thoughts, post your comments, visit gbnews.com/your say.
But before we do anything else and get stuck into today's top stories, Sam Francis has your news headlines.
Very good morning to you from the newsroom just after 11 o'clock. Well, the top story this morning, the engines on Air India Flight 171
were, we now know, cut off moments before it crashed. That's according to a new report. Cockpit audio has also revealed one pilot questioned the other, saying, "Why did you cut it off?" But the response was, "I didn't." Experts say it's almost impossible for both fuel switches to be pulled by accident. The airline says it is now fully cooperating as investigators analyse flight data and post-mortem reports. The sole survivor, a British national, escaped through a hole in the fuselage. Here, two reports have reignited fuels over the economy, one warning of a dip in growth last month and the other projecting government debt could triple by 2075. The official forecaster says Britain faces daunting risks, with borrowing costs now the third highest among major economies. The OBR says the UK can't afford the promises made by politicians. It means that a wave of tax rises is expected this autumn, alongside pressure to find savings in welfare and boost defence spending. But the Chancellor insists the gloom is overplayed, with markets strong and confidence returning. Labour's ties with one of its biggest union backers are under threat, with Unite's boss saying Angela Rayner's behaviour over the Birmingham bin strikes is utterly abhorrent. Sharon Graham claims the Deputy Prime Minister is aiding and abetting fire and rehire tactics, and confirmed Unite has voted to suspend her membership. The union's conference also backed a move to re-examine its affiliation with Labour, a relationship worth hundreds of thousands of pounds each year. Angela Rayner, though, says she actually resigned from the union back in April. The BBC is facing a dilemma over whether to air the next series of MasterChef, already filmed, with Greg Wallace still in it. Wallace has apologised for using inappropriate language, but denies serious claims of misconduct. An investigation by the show's producers is now underway, and the BBC has said it won't comment until the findings of that report are published. Former contestants, though, say shelving the show would be devastating, but airing it could also spark backlash. Ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas are on the brink of collapse, with negotiators in Doha accusing Israel of stalling to buy time during Netanyahu's visit to the US. Palestinian officials say that Israel sent a delegation there with no authority to agree on any key issues. The proposed deal would see Hamas release half of the living hostages and some of the dead during a 60-day truce. Mediators are warning the process, though, is hanging by a thread and could collapse without urgent American intervention. And the UK is in the grip of its most widespread heat wave of the summer so far, with sunshine dominating again today. Scotland and Northern Ireland could see their hottest day of the year so far, with temperatures of 31 degrees expected. Meanwhile, an amber heat health alert is in place for much of England. High UV, very high pollen levels and wildfire warnings in parts of the country. At Wimbledon, meanwhile, play has been interrupted and centre court hit 32 degrees yesterday, triggering heat rules for players and for fans. And there are hosepipe bans affecting more than 7 million people, and it could soon extend further. That's the news on GB News. I'll be back with you very shortly. Now, though, it's over to Saturday Morning Live.
For the very latest GB News direct to your smartphone, sign up to News Alerts by scanning the QR code or go to gbnews.com/alerts.
Welcome back to Saturday Morning Live with me, Charlie Peters, and Nana Akweer, a very special stand-in presenter for my usual Miriam Cates this morning.
We're kind of opposites, aren't we?
You and me?
Like, I'm like the
you and Miriam?
Me and Miriam. I'm the negative. I'm the complete opposite. She's blonde, I'm dark, and everything. So it's the other way.
You're more boisterous as well.
Is it?
Yeah. The problem with Miriam and I is we often agree so much. But you and me always have a row, which is always exciting.
We do have a row. You need a row on a Saturday morning.
Absolutely.
Otherwise it's boring.
People have clocked onto that on gbnews.com/your say. Great to see your comments this morning. Leanne and Lee saying, loving the footage of the 12th from Northern Ireland from the Sun Lounger in Lanzarote.
Oh, that's all right. Is it Lanzarote? That's what they call it.
Good for Leanne and Lee. Good for them.
Now, this is interesting because we obviously will be discussing Angela Rayner throughout the next few hours on the programme. And Gordon Neil said, OK, Unite Union members, how do you all feel now about voting this Labour shower into power? Because, of course, Angela Rayner is behaving in a way that the unions aren't happy with.
Yes, indeed. Well, Let's rejoin the team in Coleraine now as the parades are now underway. Arlene, how's it going?
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Nana. It's wonderful to hear some of the viewer feedback, indeed, even from Lanzarote on a sun lounger. Well, we could certainly have sun loungers here in Coleraine today. And as you can hear, the parade has just arrived behind me, and it's led today by Coleraine District. That's the host district here today. It's led by Worshipful Brother Marshall Gallagher. He's leading the district today, and he will be accompanied by the Right Worshipful Brother James Evan, who's the County Grand Master of County Londonderry Grand Orange Lodge. So it's great to see the bands arriving, and we'll give you a little time to take some of that in now. Parading behind the first band goes to Blacker LOL. That's Blacker LOL number 5. And behind the members of the District Lodge, that is Blacker LOL number 5. And Blacker's one of 4 lodges throughout Ireland with the warrant number 5. The others are Kinnigo in County Armagh, Newton Stewart, County Tyrone, and would you believe, Brompton, Ontario in Canada. And the County Grand Master of County Londonderry from 1931 to 1950, the Canon, the Reverend Hugh Pritchard, was the rector of St Patrick's Parish Church here in Coleraine, and he was a member of LOL number 5. Charlie are in the parade and whether they've been able to catch up with anybody for a chat. Dougie, are you having a good time out there? Are you listening in?
Well, I am, but I need a dog lead on Charlie, because as usual, he goes wandering off.
It's in my nature just to wander off and talk to attractive women. Right, come here, you. Right, Darren, come here. No, I'm not. No, you are. Well, you're on camera now, so you're. There you are. You've no choice. Right, you've got a lovely red top on, red shades, and all that. And you're standing in the shade. Are you enjoying yourself today?
I certainly am.
Now,
it's a great, glorious day.
It is, and
the sun's shining.
See, you can't stop her when she starts. So, do you know anybody in the parade today?
No, I don't.
You're just here enjoying yourself?
I'm just here enjoing myself.
Well, you carry on, because you're in the shade as well. You're a very sensible woman.
Absolutely.
Love your top.
Honestly, he's had more selfies taken today than enough. I'm going to start charging for it. And he really does enjoy this parade, don't you?
Very much do. It's like when I told everybody I was going home for the weekend and cancelled everything that I was meant to be doing, because A, it's great fun, but B, I haven't been in Coleraine for about 45 years, and of course everywhere you go people are different, and it's particularly friendly here. Our welcome's been great and everybody stops, and I've done more selfies than I have in the last 10 years in this one day, so it's been really great fun. And the sun's out, everybody's here, being very sensible. They've all got their chairs, you know, the proper professionals here. Look at these two.
Well, I must say, Coleraine is one of my favourite places. I mean, I'm a county down man, but the only place I would retire to is the North Antrim coast. I absolutely adore it. We've got Portrush just up the road, the Open there next week.
Yep. But I'd forgotten that, you know, Coleraine is rather beautiful. And, you know, you've got the Bawn flowing through the middle of it. It's absolutely stunning. And I never realised that river was so big. I mean, you could take a bloody yacht up there, couldn't you, easy?
Well, you probably could, yeah. But of course, the British, or the Open is here next week, and it will be a spectacle for anyone.
Oh no, it's wonderful for the whole of Northern Ireland having, well, you know, it just puts our wee part of the world on the world stage focus of sport, and we do it very, very well. Never mind rugby or horse racing is the best in the world in Ireland, and now we've got the Open up the road, and it's going to be fabulous.
Well, I mean, Arlene, on their way to you now, I think this is the Castle Rock bands coming, because of course this is Londonderry District that's coming together, and they're trying to let them off in waves here. So it's back to you, Arlene, and you can pick them up as they come up the street.
Thanks, Dougie. Thanks for all of that. And, you know, it's wonderful to see all of the different districts and the lodges, the private lodges that make up the districts. For those who aren't familiar with the Orange institutions, you start in a private lodge, and then a number of private lodges make up the district, and then the district comes together to make up the county, and that's the way it works. So, Ian, there's a number of very interesting private lodges here in Coleraine and the city of Londonderry. Have you spotted any that's taken your interest?
Oh, there are quite a few interesting lodges coming through today, Arlene. Castle Rock LOL 141, which I think has passed us just a minute or two ago. One of the most famous members of that lodge was a Presbyterian minister called the Reverend W.F. Marshall.
Yes.
W.F. Marshall was a famous author who wrote Ulster Sails West and High Uncle Sam, which focused on the journey of the Ulster Scots to the United States, and that's going to be picked up at midnight tonight on the Foundations of Freedom programme.
Yes, indeed. And interestingly, he's called the Bard of Tyrone, isn't he?
Correct. That's
yes,
correct.
even though he's from Coleraine, obviously, as well.
I think he was born in 6 Mile Cross in County Tyrone.
Originally
but
from Tyrone.
came as the minister to Castle Rock, and then did much of his writing here.
Yeah, very good, very good. And it is interesting, I always think, to look at the historic members, but of course there are many people involved in public life who are in the Orange Institution today as well.
Oh, very, very much so, very much so.
Yep, and here we have a band coming up behind us now. It's always good to hear the bands too. I always want to let the viewers and listeners hear the bands as well.
So the lodge's passing us now is Ballyrashane, and their banner depicts King William crossing the Boyne. And they're followed by one of the several ladies' lodges that's in the parade today from Coleraine. Just passing behind us now is Blah Sons of Ulster. You can see on their banner there's a motif that will be repeated on much of the imagery today, which is the crown and Bible. And what that symbolises is the British crown sitting upon a firm basis of scripture. That's very much reflection of the Glorious Revolution and what people thought they had gained after the removal of King James.
And you know, it's very interesting as well that on the 12th of July 1945, and of course we've just marked the 80th anniversary of VE Day, that it was reported that 50% of that particular lodge were serving in the Army, Navy or the Air Force, and that must have been replicated right across Ireland.
It very much was, not just in the Second World War but the First World War as well, and conflict since. So there's a very, very strong ethos of service within the community that's here today. And even at the recent funeral of Her Late Majesty, the combined bands were taken command of by a bandsman from Bestbrook in County Armagh.
And these are the stories I love to hear, Ian, that people who start in a little country band can then end up leading a ceremonial event just like that.
Absolutely. I mean, Gareth Chambers is the senior drum major of the Guards Division now, and takes command at things like Trooping the Colour. It started out in a flute band, just like the bands you see walking past us today.
And I think we need to reflect on that, because a lot of the bands train up these young people at a young age for free, and they don't take any payment at all, and so young people are becoming involved in music at a very young age, and it's a great access to music, isn't it?
Absolutely. There are over 600 marching bands like these across Northern Ireland. That's tens of thousands of amateur musicians who are practicing week in, week out to come out and perform to a really, really high standard.
And of course today's the day, isn't it? Today's the pinnacle of it all.
Today is the big day, and of course, probably the most famous flautist in the world, James Galway, from Belfast in Northern Ireland, actually started out in a band like this, marching on the 12th.
Miller Memorial, is that right?
No, it was the Onward Flute Band in York Street, North Belfast.
I better get that right. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about family, because family is very important today to our culture and heritage, and that's been reflected by the Orange Order in their new strapline, which talks about faith and heritage, but also talks about family. I think that is important, isn't it, to reflect on?
It's very much so, and it was mentioned earlier on by colleagues in the studio about sometimes the controversial nature of some of these things.
Yes.
It's important to remember that's a tiny, tiny part of the story. There are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people out on the streets in Northern Ireland today having a really good, fun day out with their family. Whether they're walking in the parades, whether they're watching the parades, it's a fun day out for lots of people. And don't be fooled into thinking that it's only people from one community. I have very, very good friends in the Catholic community who have been out, who come out and enjoy these parades, come to the parades with us and watch them, take part in them as well.
And it's the spectacle of it all, isn't it, Ian? I mean, we're getting a sense now of the colour and the sound and the pageantry, really, of what's going on at 12th right across Northern Ireland today.
Absolutely. And if you go to any place in the world and you find a cultural festival where you have thousands of people out, you have banners, you have music, you have colour, what's not to like?
Yeah. We're seeing some more footage now of the parade. It's wonderful to see everybody in their short sleeves today. Makes a nice change. And there's, of course, some of the Ladies' Women's Association, which I understand is having, a bit like the juniors, somewhat of a resurgence, and it's wonderful to see those ladies out walking today. And so, Ian, we've been talking a little bit about the influence of the Ulster Scots people on the American nation and indeed the Declaration of Independence, and the structure of the family was very important to that, wasn't it?
Well, it was indeed, because bear in mind these folks came across from Scotland in family units. They endured great hardship here in Ulster, and of course the family was the bedrock of that. And then whenever the time came to travel to America, they travelled as family units. Now, faith was also really important as well. Because not only would they travel in families, they would sometimes travel in entire church congregations led by their ministers and go out to the States and settle, move an entire community and transplant it from Ulster to the colonies.
And sometimes when we're watching these parades, we forget about our history and heritage, and that's why it's wonderful to have you here today, Chief Executive of the Ulster Scots Agency, Ian Crozier, who's joining me today to talk about the impact of the Ulster Scots people, not only on Northern Ireland, which of course still continues to have a huge impact, but right across the globe, including in America. And here's a distinctive blue collarette, Ian. Sometimes it's not just orange collarette. Sometimes you get a blue collarette and sometimes a purple collarette. Why the difference?
Well, this particular lodge is called the Invincible True Blues, LOL 735.
That might tell you why.
So that's where the blue collarette comes from. And they're accompanied today as well by members of Junior LOL 267.
Yes. And again, wonderful to see the juniors out on parade today. It's going to be a hot day and a long day for those young people. So we're going to go back, I think, to speak to Dougie if he has been able to keep Charlie under control. Ian and I have been sitting chatting here about the impact of family and friendship. So let's go back to Dougie and see what he's been up to. Dougie.
Yeah, well, we're down here just as they cross the bridge. Charlie, it is extremely warm today, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but Jesus, we complain when it's bloody raining, so it's very, very nice. And actually there's a wee breeze getting up off the water, so it's quite comfortable. And if these can walk about in their kit on, then, you know, we can do it in our blazers, Dougie.
Well, I just was looking at this spectator here. Look at this, under the umbrella.
It's like a chow, is it? It's a chow. And he's got a very, very long coat on him, so that's why he's got the brolly, bless him. But he's in one of the lodges.
Where are you from, sir?
Limavady.
And do you come here? Do you come to the 12th every year?
Oh, I normally parade in it. Normally parade in the 12th.
But you had to look after the dog.
Well, no, I got a hip replacement 3 weeks ago.
Well, that's your sick note right there.
Right.
What about you, madam?
I'm from Limavady as well. Come every year.
Specifically to Coleraine, or do you travel about?
Wherever the lodge goes, yeah.
Oh, right, of course. Yes. Yeah, follow the lodge, as they say. Follow the bond.
Well, you can. If I don't fall and break my ankle on this pavement, I don't know. But yeah, you can see, you were talking about the younger people in the lodges, and I have noticed, there's no doubt about that, there is a lot of young people in these lodges now. Just look at that, the front end.
I think that's increasing. Year by year, and it's a damn good thing, Dougie. So it is. It's nice to see that, you know, young people are taking part, getting educated, and learning about your pieces are extraordinary. You know, and people should learn all that stuff.
I grew up in Northern Ireland where it was very sectarian and a divided society, and I think if we always learn our history and learn that nothing is black and white on either side, and we actually use our culture to sort of enforce our own sense of belonging, and that has been missing right throughout the UK. In fact, through Europe this last.
But I mean, all that stuff that you've recorded, Dougie, in America. You know, I was at one of the best schools in the bloody world, for Christ's sake, and I never heard a damn thing about it. You know what I mean? In those days, it was just you were either that or you were that. But the history that you've been showing us all is hugely important, and that should be part of our curriculum, in my opinion.
Our curriculum, there you heard it from Charlie Lawson. Charlie for Education Minister. You might have a bit of influence, not Arlene, maybe.
It's a good job I didn't hear what they were saying there because the bands were coming through. I'm sure I'll find out what they were saying later on. But we're here in the centre of Coleraine, just at the Diamond, and we're hearing now the Killowen Purple Heroes are behind us. And this is an interesting lodge, Ian, because they do a lot of community work, and I think that should be reflected because a lot of lodges get involved in the community as well as, of course, doing all of their work as a lodge.
Absolutely, Arlene. This particular lodge raises a lot of money for community service rescue, and there are lodges across the country raising hundreds of thousands every year for charities and good causes in their local community.
And I think sometimes people forget that they are actually working in the community, and I've seen that particularly over COVID. There was a lot of lodges that reached out to people who were vulnerable and people who were lonely, and they were there for them at that particular time.
Very much so. There were people going around delivering meals. There were also who were going out playing at care homes and entertaining elderly folk who weren't able to get out. So there's a great deal of work done. People sometimes think that, you know, the Orange Order, the bands are separate from the community. They're very much part of the communities
very much
that they live in.
And I think this is Ballywillan Sons of William coming now, LOL 1022. They're bringing up the rear of Coleraine District, and the NIST District is then coming in, and that's Limavady District.
There's very interesting imagery on the Ballywillan banneret there. On one side they have Britannia with the caption "For Freedom." On the other side they have King William III with "Civil and Religious Liberty for All," very much underscoring the whole ethos of the event today.
Yes, and that's what we were talking about earlier on. And as I said, this is Limavady District that's coming now. Limavady District LOL number 6. It's led by Worshipful Brother Mark Smith. He's the District Master, and he's also the Past Assistant Grand Master of the Grand Orange Lodge of Ireland. again, we see some ladies there as well, Ian, underscoring that this is very much family event today.
Oh, very much so. It's not unusual at all to have ladies out walking with the lodge that their husbands are in, that their children are in. Probably they've got relations in the band as well. So, I mean, that aspect about family and friendship is very, very strong within the community that takes part in these events.
And it's very hot work today, I have to say. It's the hottest 12th I think I can remember for quite some time.
The lodge that's behind us right now is the No Surrender LOL number 255. That No Surrender slogan is something which is very closely connected to the Siege of Derry.
Yes.
Events that happened in 1689 in the area that we're in today. It's taken very much as a political slogan for unionism today, but it was very much to do with not surrendering to the Jacobite forces and everything that would flow from a surrender of the city, with its Ulster Scots inhabitants fearing massacre at the hands of King James's forces.
And of course, for those who don't know where Limavady is, maybe some of our viewers and listeners on the mainland, Limavady is quite close to the city of Londonderry.
Yes, so we're up in the northwest of Northern Ireland. Limavady sits effectively in between Coleraine, where we are today, and the city of Londonderry, which is right up in the northwest corner.
And this is Bovina Purple Star coming towards us now, number 260, again from Limavady district. And the nice thing about going to a 12th in the countryside, if I can call Coleraine the countryside, is that you see a variety of bands. You see silver bands, you see flute bands, accordion bands. This is a nice flute band that's coming up now.
Yes, you do indeed. You'll see every genre of marching band here today, including pipe bands as well. There's a huge variety of bands. The vast majority of the bands in Northern Ireland, of course, would be flute bands, but of the 600 or so, there are probably another 100, 120 pipe bands, something similar of accordion bands as well, and then a variety of smaller numbers of silver and brass bands too. So you'll see everything here that we have to offer.
Yeah. Everybody looks very smart today. There's some of the juniors out as well.
Very interestingly, that Boviva banner on the reverse side actually depicts King William landing at Brixham in the south of England.
Yes, I think people forget that he first arrived on the shores of what is now the United Kingdom in England,
yes.
Not in Ireland.
Absolutely. And if you go to Brixham, there's a statue of King William, and actually the biggest Orange Lodge in England is based in Brixham on the south coast.
And this band here, Eden Moore, they're leading Eden Moore True Blues LOL 644. Their flute band recently attended the Battle of the Boyne celebrations in Scotland, and of course we shouldn't forget, Ian, that there's celebrations not just here in Northern Ireland, but in Scotland, in Southport, and of course in the Republic of Ireland last weekend.
Absolutely. What's being celebrated here is something that relates to the whole of the British Isles. It had an impact on the whole of the British Isles. It so happens that the celebration of it is most popular and most enduring here in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
But it is remembered and celebrated throughout these islands.
And indeed, here we are. Some of our young people on parade there. It's hot work today, carrying that staff in. This is
Ballyquin Flute Band.
Yes, indeed.
Just as we see, Ballyquin Flute Band are actually dropping their standards here to mark the fact that they're passing the War Memorial in the Diamond here in Coleraine. We mentioned the fact that we're in the Diamond here in Coleraine. The Diamond is a name that's often given to the centre of towns that were established during the plantation of Ulster. And Coleraine, where we are today, was actually established by the City of London companies. So the town hall that's behind, there's a beautiful town hall behind us here, which was actually built by the Honourable the Irish Society, and that's the name given to the collaboration of the London companies who helped to establish towns and settlements right throughout this part of Ulster.
Absolutely. And here's another very large flute band coming now with a great colour party, who again will acknowledge the fact that the War Memorial is on the right hand side. And it's certainly all happening here in the Diamond. We're going to go back to Dougie and Charlie, and of course Charlie's going to try and behave himself now, and I do apologise for some of his more colourful language that we've had over the course of this programme, but hopefully he's going to behave himself in the next broadcast. Dougie, are you there?
I am, and I'm with Charlie. Charlie, I have to tell you off, no more colourful language.
Oh dear, was it me?
Yeah, it was you, yes.
Me
yes,
being colourful language-wise? Yeah. Oh, what a surprise.
Well, Arlene, you mentioned the different bands here. There's actually been 3 beautiful accordion bands heading your direction now, and they are some of the nicest bands, nicest music you'll get. But if you come this way, well, let's go this way, Charlie. Aha.
How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Enjoying today?
Yes, brilliant. The weather is fabulous.
Do you always come?
Yes, always come to the 12th of July.
Because this is are you a Coleraine girl?
No, I'm actually from Clary, Londonderry area.
Oh, see, right, okay. Well, that doesn't make you a bad person, you know. But it's good to see you here. And do you know what I've noticed, actually? There's a predominance of women and girls here today, and I've seen more in the bands, you know.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You know, we did Carrick last year and Belfast the year before that, and there were far less women involved, and certainly from an audience point of view, it's overwhelmingly female, which I think is wonderful.
I actually was a female member of a band myself.
There you go. So
and
you
my husband was a bass drummer.
Is that how you met?
I know what you're talking
That's how we met, actually.
Oh,
you met over the bass drum.
Charlie, you said you'd behave. Anyway, Arlene, yeah, another thing. 12th, and I'm going to be hated for saying this. They're so much better turned out, I think. Their shoes are shone, their uniforms are perfect, and they have spent so long actually
getting ready
for this. But with that, Arlene, they're on their way to you now. We'll catch up later.
Enjoy.
Okay, all right, boys. Glad to see you're still enjoying yourself. We now have Ardna Riff Orange Heroes LOL 905. They're led by Ardna Riff Flute Band, who have just got new uniforms. They were just dedicated on Sunday past at the Lord's annual church service in Ovena Presbyterian Church. So it's lovely to see their new uniforms. They probably have tunics as well, Ian, but I've decided to leave them at home today.
Well, I think that was a wise move.
Absolutely. Some colourful hats on display. There's a really nice one there with some orange lilies. And of course, one of the traditions is the fact that we do have our orange lilies out on display at our homes. And they come out pretty early this year. I don't know whether that happened for other people, but for mine, they certainly did come out a bit early.
Mine were out early and beaten to death by heavy rain.
Oh yeah, well, at least we don't have that today. Ballerina Faith Defenders, LOL 984.
So you can't see it at the moment, but on the reverse of the banner of Ballerina, I think they actually have an image of Sir Winston Churchill.
Oh!
This lodge actually sits in a former Home Guard hut from the Second World War.
Very good. And behind them is Largy Sons of William, LOL 988. And this year, 3 of their members have reached their 60-year memberships of the Orange Order, while one of their members achieved 70 years. And that really speaks to longevity, and doesn't it?
I mean, that's a lifetime of service.
That certainly is.
Because the earliest that you can join the Orange Order is 16.
Yes.
If you've been in the juniors. So that gentleman's a minimum of 85, 86 years of age.
Yeah. And sometimes the older members do travel in vehicles, and I'm sure today, above all days, with the heat being quite extreme, that many of the older members are in the cars.
You'd be hoping for a vehicle with air conditioning in it.
I would be hoping for a vehicle if I was on parade.
Now, the lodge that's approaching us just now is Roe Valley ex-serviceman's LOL 997. It's quite hard to make out on the banneret, but that's a painting of Viscount Brookborough, who's the Prime Minister of Northern Ireland, so somebody very familiar to you, Arlene.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's where I live, Brookborough, and Viscount Brookborough served as the Prime Minister of Northern Ireland for many, many years and was a very proud Orange man.
Yes, very much so. And of course, Viscount Brookborough was the uncle of Field Marshal Alan Brooke, one of 5 Ulster Field Marshals who helped the United Kingdom to win the Second World War.
Yes, the Brookes have a long history of service to the nation, and indeed 2 of Lord Brookborough's sons perished in the First World War. Oh, the Second World War, actually, sorry, Second World War. And I think this is Dungiven Faith and Crown Defenders, Ian, am I right?
It looks very much that way. I'm interested, there's the band that's leading them has a wonderful set of colours at the head of it. Again, brilliantly well turned out.
And I have to say, a beautifully adorned big drum with those orange lilies, which I was speaking about. Look at that, beautiful.
So that's Dungiven Crown Defenders Flute Band. And of course, Dungiven being another town in County Londonderry. The districts that we have with us today are all from the north of the County of Londonderry. Then they're joined as well by the City of Londonderry County Grand Lodge, and that also includes half a dozen lodges. One of their districts actually is from East Donegal in the Republic of Ireland. Again, of course, you have the iconic image of King William crossing the Boyne. There's a tradition that says that how do you tell the difference between the front of the banner and the back? If King William's on it, that's the front, because the tradition is that King William is always the first one into the field and the last one to leave, which means when you're leaving on your way home, you reverse the banner so that King William's on the back of it.
Oh, very good. I did not know that. It's always said every day is a school day, and that certainly is a new one on me. And this, of course, is the start of McCoskin District now, LOL number 8. The District Lodge is going to be led by Worshipful Brother Jonathan Kerr, and he will be accompanied by the Right Worshipful Brothers Ivan Kelly and Samuel Calvin, past County Grand Masters of County Londonderry Grand Orange Lodge. We're going to go back one last time to see Dougie and Charlie and see what they're up to. So Dougie, can you finish off for us today and give us a sense of what this has been like in Coleraine today?
Well, yes, we've had a brilliant time in Coleraine today, Arlene. It's one of the nicest 12s I've actually spent.
I think so. This is number 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's right up there, and I'm not sure, something intangible about it, and I do think that there's so many ladies, girls, women, which is quite a surprise, and young folk. So it's brilliant, and of course the weather helps.
The weather is,
and the standard of the bands is very, very, very good.
And of course, there's the World Championship pipe bands is on this weekend in Glasgow, so a lot of those pipe bands will be attending that. But there is an absolutely stunning pipe band I just walked past.
Yeah. And if you think we're warm, you should have seen them dressed up in the full pipe band regalia. But great sounds, and but I think the standard has been very, very good this year. Standard of musicianship and the standard of the drill and all the rest has been very, very good.
If you could just get a little look at the crowd here. I mean, they are lined the streets here out to see their people parading, celebrating their culture, their history, and remembering exactly who they are. And really, for someone like me, a reporter that has had to cover so much on race problems, immigrants, this is really a celebration of Irish and British history really coming together and letting us know where we stood in the world during the 1600s, and of course what that means to modern day. The Bill of Rights, the Bank of England, all those things that came from 1690 are celebrated today that makes us British.
Yes, I was saying to Dougie earlier that it's a great shame that even in the highest places of education here, we don't hear about what Dougie has been doing for GB News. It's a shame.
Yeah, because we're trying to educate them, actually. We're that busy, actually, making sure everybody else is included. Our own...
Yeah, there's a documentary there on its own. Do you know what I mean? Never mind, you know, you've been away and done all the history, but as you say, there's a documentary in itself about all this, all about the stuff that we don't know.
Well, there you go. Don't forget to watch Foundations of Freedom at midnight tonight.
Thanks, Dougie. Thanks, Charlie. And enjoy the rest of the day. I'm sure it's only the beginning for you out there chatting to everybody. And so we've had 4 districts on parade here today in Coleraine. We've had Coleraine, the host district. We've had Limavady, McCosquin is just behind us now. And where Dougie and Charlie were, we had the City of Londonderry district. And it is a great day out for everybody and for all the family. And I just wanted to mention one particular new junior lodge which has started up in the City of Londonderry, and their warrant only issued on the 18th of June there in the Apprentice Boys Memorial Hall, where those boys will be having their meeting. So they're on parade today for the first time, and it's really encouraging for them to come out and parade in this sort of an environment, isn't it?
It is indeed, and I was talking to somebody in the Apprentice Boys Memorial Hall only the other day. That's the first junior lodge they've had on the city side of Londonderry in 25 years. It's actually joining now a new girls' lodge that sits in Bond Street, which is in the waterside as well. So there's great growth of both boys and girls in the institution in the city.
And I think we've been talking about education today and referencing our programme that's on at midnight tonight, Architects of America, and the importance of finding out about our history. And of course the Junior Lodge plays a very important part in that, don't they?
It does indeed. Starting young people early, whether it's learning about their history, learning about the musical traditions and so on, is vitally important, because it's only through having young people and wider communities that are educated, that are confident about who they are, that helps us actually to create a better society here in Northern Ireland and throughout the country.
Yes, because if you know who you are, then you have your identity and you're not feeling under pressure or you're not feeling isolated.
Absolutely. It's vitally important that people have a very strong sense of their own identity, because that helps them to welcome and to reach out to others.
Yeah. So here we are. Is this City of Londonderry coming now, I wonder? I think it might be. City of Londonderry Grand Orange Lodge, which is the last of the districts that we're going to see today. And there's some very fine music that comes out of the City of Londonderry in some of their wonderful bands. It is indeed. That's City of Londonderry District Lodge. And it's lovely to see them there resplendent in their orange collarets.
There's 5 districts from the city. The Banneret passing is just now is district number 4, which shows a police officer who was killed in the line of duty.
And indeed that has happened so many times. And so we're going to leave you now, unfortunately, and with City of Londonderry District just coming in behind us now. I just want to thank Ian Crozier for joining me today, the Chief Executive of the Ulster Scots Agency, and I'm going to go back now to the studio to Charlie and Nana and hope that they've enjoyed the wonderful spectacle that has been the 12th of July.
Oh, it's been fabulous, Arlene. Thank you very much. Dame Arlene Foster and Doogie Beattie and, of course, Charlie Lawson. Lots more coverage of the 12th of July parades throughout the day. Just if you were confused about what LOL meant, it stood for Loyal Orange Lodge. So there we go. And GB News, GB News, and you can watch Doogie's programme at midnight tonight.
Well, we're going to finish the show now with some breaking news coming into us, because this broadcaster can exclusively reveal that more than 1,200 small boat migrants have crossed the Channel since Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron signed a migrant returns deal on Thursday.
We'll be hearing from security editor Mark White that this morning alone, at least 300 migrants attempted the illegal crossing, and just after 10 a.m, a border force vessel arrived in Dover Harbour and with 68 people on board.
Well, we're joined now by the former Labour advisor Scarlett Maguire and journalist and writer Candice Holsworth to react to this breaking line. Scarlett, I'm starting with you. This deal with the French, it's not going to work, is it? And we're showing already that for all the mood music and all the exciting Anglo-French alliance and all the excitement around it, these small boats are just going to keep coming.
Yeah, I mean, clearly nothing's going to happen until we start sending people back. That's when people realise that they're paying an awful lot of money just to be sent back.
Which is when? Did they give us a timeline?
I don't know. I don't know. It'll happen quite soon, and it's only 50. But actually, I mean, people go on about Rwanda. Rwanda was 500 in a year, right? This is 50 a week, so it should be more.
Well, that's can I just say that? But Rwanda was a deterrent. So the idea of a deterrent is that it deters people from actually doing it, and it had capacity to be bigger. So it did appear to be effective because people were very upset about coming to the UK and were planning to go elsewhere.
And they were, yeah, but they still went on coming. And they still went on coming. The small boats did not stop, right?
No, there was lesser crossings until they were waiting. In fact, some of them even said they're waiting for Keir Starmer to take control.
Yeah, but I mean, in the meantime, the small boats went on coming. I mean, of course, we expect small boats to come today. I mean, you know, presumably because the channel is as flat as a mill pond.
Yes, but the French are supposed to send them back when
well, apparently, I think I'm not the one to attack on this. Apparently, and this is according to the Daily Telegraph, the French stop about a third of the boats coming, and they're coming. And what the point is, the only way to stop the small boats, right, is to have a deal with Europe.
No, it's to send them back.
Well, we can't send them back.
No, turn the boats back around and put them on the RNLI boat, and instead of heading straight, turning that boat back, just head back to France.
Well, I think, yeah, people are worried that this just isn't a strong enough deterrent. I mean, it's all about incentives. Everyone knows that. I mean, if you look at in the US, Marco Rubio, the head of the State Department, has said that they've reduced their border crossings by something like 90% because people know I do not have a chance of getting any sort of settled status. You have to do that. Once you do that, the message gets out, people stop coming.
Candice, many people are saying that this is just a technocratic solution. It's too delicate, too careful. It's designed to sort of please all parties, but it won't actually get this strategy to stop the boats over the line. The Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Philp, has claimed that this would still mean that 94% of those who cross will be allowed to stay because our asylum system is so generous. We approve more claims than most countries in Europe. This won't actually make a difference. Much sterner action is required. Do you agree?
I do agree. I think so. And I think this week there was some discussion of just how the French see it. And the French think that we are just too much of a soft touch. And it causes them problems because people come via France to get to Britain because they know it's much more generous here. And I think that we have to be a lot stricter. The evidence shows if people know they do not stand a chance, they will not come. People make rational decisions.
I don't know why
Can we understand that most people who have crossed the Mediterranean do not come to Britain? They go to France, they go to Germany, they go to Italy, they go to Greece.
Well, that's because they're crossing the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Well, if they're crossing the Channel, they'll be coming to Britain.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is by the time they get to Calais, right, most of the refugees have already crossed the Mediterranean. Most of them go to France and go to Germany, right? we only have, compared to the others, we have a few. We don't take anything like
Well, if you're going
the
to do
number.
that, you need to do the comparison with the sizes of the countries as well. And the countries that you've used are considerably larger than ours.
Greece has just announced in the last couple of days it's now not processing any asylum claims from North Africa. So we're seeing even countries within the auspices of the European Union taking sterner approaches. You must, Scarlett, want the Labour Party to take a sterner stance than this
I
current
have
deal.
always said, and when the Tories were, I've always said that what we should be doing is we should be processing people very fast and sending them home.
All right.
That's the way to stop it.
Candice.
Yes, absolutely. We've got to get on top of this problem. It's becoming a hugely toxic issue for both parties.
All right. Well, listen, we'll continue the coverage. Thank you very much to Scarlett and Candice. We will continue the coverage of the stories today. Stay tuned. I'll be back, actually, at 3 o'clock for my own show.
Yes, Nana, it's been wonderful having you today. So thank you for joining me on Saturday Morning Live today. Miriam back next week. But don't go anywhere because Dawn Neeson is up next with her programme, The Weekend.
I'll see you at 3. Enjoy.
Heavy showers first thing will be followed by a warm, cosy day. Boxed Boilers, sponsors of weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, it's a very hot Saturday to come with strong summer sunshine and high UV levels, but always some low cloud just lingering in the east. So the settled conditions all to do with this ridge of higher pressure extending with low pressure out towards the east and the west. So wall-to-wall sunshine for many of us today, but across eastern areas, that's where we hold on to some low cloud just hugging the coastline. It's also going to be feeling cooler here if you want to get away from those hot conditions. Otherwise, elsewhere, temperatures rising. We could see temperatures widely around 30 degrees, possibly even 34 across parts of Wales and the West Midlands. So as we go through Saturday evening then, we hold on to this low cloud across eastern parts of Scotland. Out towards the west though, a warm evening to come with plenty of late evening sunshine. The odd shower may just bubble up across the far west of Northern Ireland, otherwise largely dry here, and plenty of sunshine elsewhere. A warm night to come with that low cloud still hugging the eastern coasts. So as we go through Saturday evening then, we see the return of this low cloud push its way further inland, so generally leading to a cloudier skies across the far south and east of England compared to this morning. Elsewhere, plenty of clear skies out towards the west, but it is going to be another warm night out there. Temperatures not dropping below around 11 or 12 degrees, some places holding up at around 18 or 19. So a warm start to Sunday morning, a bit more cloud in the forecast as we go through Sunday, but there'll be plenty of sunshine